Can a country pursuing strategic air power autonomy afford to lose 3 frontline fighters in under 2 years, especially when more than 180 additional jets are on order? India's domestically produced Tejas light combat aircraft has now suffered another serious accident, and the timing raises difficult questions about readiness, procurement timelines, and regional deterrence. If technical failures, production delays, or fleet groundings persist, the consequences extend beyond a single runway incident. India faces simultaneous security pressures along contested borders with Pakistan and China, while attempting to modernize an aging fighter inventory. Any prolonged disruption in induction plans could affect squadron strength, operational tempo, and long-term force planning across the Indo-Pacific balance. On February 7th, a single-seat Hindustan Aeronautics Limited Tejas overshot the runway at a frontline airbase, reportedly after a brake malfunction. The pilot ejected safely, but the aircraft sustained major structural damage. Indian media indicated that approximately 30 operational single-seat Tejas jets were temporarily grounded for comprehensive inspections. The Indian Air Force has not issued a detailed public statement, yet grounding an entire subfleet signals precaution at a time when force availability already remains under pressure. This incident marks the third reported loss of a Tejas since its induction. In March 2024, a jet crashed near Jaisalmer following a firepower demonstration. The pilot also ejected safely. In November 2025, another aircraft was lost during an aerial display at the Dubai Air Show. While air forces worldwide experience accidents during training and demonstrations, patterns matter when fleets remain small and expansion plans ambitious. The Tejas program emerged from India's long effort to reduce reliance on foreign combat aircraft. Conceived in the 1980s as part of the Light Combat Aircraft Initiative, it aimed to replace aging MiG-21 fighters and foster an indigenous aerospace ecosystem. The aircraft integrates composite materials, fly-by-wire controls, and Western origin avionics and engines, reflecting a hybrid model of domestic assembly combined with foreign supply chains. That dual structure provides capability but also creates dependency points. In February 2021, India's Defence Ministry signed a contract worth 480 billion rupees for 83 Tejas Mk-1A aircraft. In September 2025, a further agreement valued at 623.7 billion rupees added 97 more jets. Together, these orders represent one of the largest domestic fighter procurement efforts in India's history, totaling 180 aircraft. The Mk-1A variant includes upgraded radar systems, electronic warfare suites, and maintainability improvements designed to enhance sortie rates and life cycle efficiency, yet delivery timelines have slipped. Reports indicate that engine supply delays from GE Aerospace have constrained production schedules. The Tejas relies on the F404 engine for current variants, and disruptions in engine deliveries directly slow final assembly and induction. When production rates fall behind projected timelines, squadron formation targets shift accordingly, affecting air defense coverage and pilot conversion cycles. India's broader fighter inventory illustrates why these delays matter. The Indian Air Force has long stated a sanctioned strength of 42 squadrons, yet actual numbers have remained closer to the low 30s. Retirement of older aircraft has outpaced induction of new platforms, even as geopolitical tensions along the line of actual control and the line of control require sustained readiness. The Tejas program was intended to help close that gap incrementally. What if technical investigations reveal systemic issues in braking systems, quality control, or maintenance procedures? In that scenario, confidence in domestic manufacturing standards could face scrutiny, potentially prompting extended inspections or retrofits. Even temporary pauses would ripple through pilot training schedules and deployment rotations. International partners observing India's defense industrial trajectory would also assess reliability metrics before considering export collaboration or technology sharing. Conversely, What if inspections confirm isolated mechanical faults rather than structural design weaknesses? In that case, the grounding may prove precautionary rather than alarming. A transparent technical review followed by corrective measures could strengthen institutional credibility. Demonstrating rigorous oversight would reassure both domestic stakeholders and foreign suppliers that safety protocols function effectively within India's aerospace ecosystem. The geopolitical dimension remains significant. India positions itself as a key security actor in the Indo-Pacific, participating in frameworks such as the Quad while maintaining strategic autonomy. Air power forms a central pillar of deterrence against both Pakistan and China. China's rapid expansion of fifth-generation platforms like the J-20 and modernization of its air bases in Tibet increases pressure on India to field reliable, modern aircraft in sufficient numbers. Any delay in force buildup shapes perceptions of comparative capability. Financial commitments underscore the scale of ambition. Combined contracts exceeding 1 trillion rupees represent substantial public expenditure aimed at strengthening domestic defense manufacturing. Success would reinforce India's aspiration to become a net security provider and defense exporter. Underperformance, however, could complicate budget prioritization, especially as India simultaneously invests in naval expansion, missile development, and space-based surveillance assets. Political leadership has emphasized self-reliance in defense production under broader industrial initiatives. Supporters argue that indigenous programs reduce vulnerability to sanctions and geopolitical leverage. Critics point to coordination challenges between state-owned enterprises, private suppliers, and foreign technology partners. Delays in engine procurement and production ramp-up illustrate how complex global supply chains intersect with national industrial goals. Operational readiness ultimately depends on more than procurement contracts. Training pipelines, spare parts availability, maintenance cycles, and safety culture all determine fleet performance. A grounded fleet, even temporarily, forces planners to redistribute missions across other platforms such as the Su-30 Mk-1A, Rafale, and remaining MiG variants. That redistribution affects flight hours, maintenance burdens, and long-term airframe fatigue across the broader inventory. Another what-if scenario deserves attention. If production stabilizes and Mk-1A deliveries accelerate over the next 2 years, India could offset recent losses and gradually rebuild squadron strength. Integration of advanced radar and electronic warfare systems would enhance survivability and network-centric capability. That trajectory would reinforce India's strategic signaling in contested airspaces and potentially open pathways for export discussions with interested partners in Southeast Asia or Africa. For now, 3 accidents across roughly 2 years form part of the program's record, alongside significant financial commitments and ambitious expansion plans. Each incident underscores the inherent risks in aviation and the complexity of building advanced combat aircraft domestically. The pilot survival in all reported crashes highlights the effectiveness of ejection systems and training protocols. Yet airframe losses remain strategically relevant when fleet numbers are limited.